Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, it's Zainab. Welcome back to my daily reading of Hussein's Revolution, Its Causes and Implications by Ayatollah Muhammad Mahdi Shamsuddin. So we're almost at the end of the book, mashallah. Got through it way quicker than I expected. We're looking at now how Imam Hussein's revolution sparked a fire in the hearts of the people who were under Umayyad rule and woke them up out of dumb slumber that they've been living in for 20 odd years, where they've come to kind of accept their oppression. So he woke them out of that. And as a result of his revolution, after that, many other revolutions arose in various different parts of the land. And eventually, it was these small revolutions that ultimately made the Umayyad dynasty fall, finally. So, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, all praise belongs to Him, and peace and blessings to Prophet Muhammad and his pure family. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. The history of the Muslim people changed with the revolution of Imam Hussain. Revolutions began to erupt. The public began to search for a leader who would guide it through its revolution against the Umayyad state. History shows us that whenever a likely leader took to the front, a sizable revolution was the result. For 20 years, the only armed opposition that the Umayyad state had to endure was that of the Kharijites. But the Muslim nation was not responsive to the Kharijites' cause. The Umayyad state would create armies through the enlistment of volunteers in the cities where any Kharijite rebellion took place. Time and again, the Kharijite rebellions were quelled with ease. What happened after Imam Hussein's revolution was something completely different. After that tragedy, the Muslim nation became sympathetic to revolution. The reasons for these constant revolutions were very different than the excuses of the Kharijites. The revolutions that came after the Battle of Karbala stemmed from causes rooted in the reality of life within the Muslim Empire. People revolted against the Umayyad policies of oppression, persecution, and starvation. These revolutions could not easily be quelled. Local volunteers could not be assembled to deal with these revolutions. The government knew that many of those who did not carry arms and join a revolution sympathizes with the revolutionaries' cause. As a result, the Umayyad state had to gather its armies from different areas of the nation in order to deal with each revolution. Most of the armies were made of Syrians who were least sympathetic to the revolutionary cause. Garrisons were established throughout the nation to anchor the Umayyad state against revolution. This is a broad overview of the Muslim nation's state of affairs after Imam Hussein's revolution. So, the Repenters' Revolt was the first direct reaction to the murder of Imam Hussain from Kufa. When Imam Hussain was killed and Ibn Ziyad's army returned gleefully to Kufa, the Shia began to gather to mourn and reproach each other in their guilt. And this is why non-Shia Muslims say that it was the Kufans who killed Hussain. Even though it wasn't them that ordered his killing, or the ones that ultimately took the life from him, they withdrew their support of him. So perhaps if they had been steadfast in their loyalty and their support to him and had gone with him to Karbala to join the battle against Ziyad's army, against Yazid's army, then there might have been a chance to save him. So they harbor a lot of guilt in their hearts for not supporting him, because they initially said that they would, right? That's why they invited him to migrate to Kufa, where they promised him that they would support him and keep him safe there. But when push came to shove and things got tough, the tough got running. They weren't there to support him in battle. They realized the great mistake that they had made by insisting that Imam Hussain come to Kufa. They recognized their guilt in not joining his ranks. He stood up for them, but they abandoned him. They realized that they would not be able to wash away this shame by any means other than revolt. The Shia gathered around 5 leaders in Kufa: Sulaiman ibn Sa'd al-Khuzai, al-Musayyab ibn Najiyah al-Fazari, Abdullah ibn Sa'd ibn Nufail al-Azdi, Abdullah ibn Wa'il al-Tamimi, and Rafa'a ibn Shaddad al-Bajli. All who were present agreed to appoint Suleiman ibn Sard al-Khuzai as their leader. The Shia of Basra, the city of Basra, also joined this revolt. They joined hands with the Kufans. This group of revolutionaries began to recruit men and prepare arms in secret for their coming revolution. They asked for vengeance against the killers of Imam Hussain, and so their ranks began to increase. Person after person and tribe after tribe would answer their call. The revolutionaries were both Shia, who followed the Alid line as a matter of principle, as well as others who were moved by the guilt of their conscience. They continued to muster their strength in secret until the passing of Yazid. After Yazid's death, they began to publicly call for revolution, and many more joined them. 4 years after Imam Hussein's revolution, these men gathered their strength and headed towards Karbala. They gathered around the grave of Imam Hussein and began to weep. They left the grave and headed towards Damascus. They met with the Umayyad army and fought valiantly until they were all killed. The repenters laid the blame for Imam Hussein's death with the Umayyad state. They did not put blame on the individuals that fought in the Umayyad army. That is why they headed straight towards Damascus without any regards to the remnants of the army that remained in Kufa. The driving force behind this revolt was the sense of guilt and a desire to rectify past actions. But because the revolutionaries were driven by a great deal of guilt and remorse, they became suicidal. They wanted to rectify their past actions through vengeance, but they had no desire past that. They did not seek victory. They did not seek to take over the government. They did not seek the spoils of war. All that the repenters wanted was vengeance. They left their homes with a certainty that they will not come back. They wished to die. When they were given a chance to return home peacefully, they refused. They had no clear and specific social goal. The only goal was vengeance.